This is a quick overview of some events in Wyoming history and how that relates to what archaeology can tell us. In it, it converts distance, 1 meter equals 1,000 years, into time, so that 1 centimeter equals 10 years. In it looks at events in Wyoming history, has people guess when they are, and then place them on the timeline. First television in Wyoming, 1954. Old Main at University of Wyoming, 1886. Wolves reintroduced into Yellowstone, 1995. First landing on the moon by humans, 1969. Wyoming became a territory, 1868. Yellowstone Park, 1872. John Coulter came through, 1807. Declaration of Independence, 1776. Columbus bumped into this country, 1492. How long do you think people have lived in Wyoming? 2,000 years? 4,000 years? 8,000 years? 10,000 years? We know from the Colby Mammoth site near Worland that it's been 13,000 years. That's about 600 generations, or about 4.7 million yesterdays. That's time of about 600 grandmothers, generations. Archaeology is one way to try to preserve some of these stories. The archaeological record is longer than you think, and it needs your help to help save for the future. Here's the way we used to do the timeline.
We usually do this timeline thing. We start off by talking about turning distance, 1 meter, into time. So there's 100 centimeters on here and 1,000 millimeters. And so we're saying that 1 millimeter equals 1 year. So this meter is equivalent to 1,000 years long. We lay that out, and then I've got a series of pin flags with events and dates relevant to Wyoming history on them. And if we have a group of students here, usually what we do is pass these out, and a student will read the event, the other students will guess the date, and the student who comes closest to the correct date gets to bring it up and put it at its proper position in the timeline. How far back along the timeline from today that event occurred. So this first flag is human landing on the moon. So we ask the students when that occurred, and somebody will sure enough say 1969. So they get the pin flag, they get to bring it up, and they get to put it right down there, fairly close to the beginning of the pin flag. So we've got a whole series of those others, and we'll put them out here in no particular order. Wyoming becomes a state in 1890. That goes right about there. The University of Wyoming founded, 1887. That goes right about there. Yellowstone Park started, 1872. Right about there. The first iPod sold, 2001, right up here, not too far from today. The first television station in Wyoming, 1954. Wolves reintroduced into Yellowstone Park, 1995. Wyoming became a territory, 1868. Battle of the Little Bighorn, 1876. John Coulter came through this area and talked about it in 1807. Declaration of Independence was 1776. And Columbus bumped into this continent around 1492. So right about there. So what we've got here in a space of roughly 50 centimeters, or about that long, is most of what we talk about in Wyoming and American history. The next step in talking about Wyoming archaeology is to begin extending that timeline a little bit and having the students guess as to when the first evidence of occupation of Wyoming is recorded in the archaeological record. So you go back to 1,000 years ago and ask, do you think people were here in Wyoming at 1,000 years ago, or should I go further? Then we go back to 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 4,000 years, 5,000 years, 5 meters ago. That's quite a ways from when Columbus showed up. But is that how long people have been in Wyoming? Then we can answer with a big no and go back. We can go back to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13,000 years ago. The Colby Mammoth Site near Worland, Wyoming dates to around 13,000 years ago. So in terms of the time span of Wyoming's history, Wyoming's people, there's that little bit where you can see those colored flags are there up close to the camera that represent what's in recorded history. And then there's all this other time. That's the domain, the framework in which archaeology is trying to find